Welcome to Grace Notes, the weekly community affairs show with Town of Yorktown Supervisor Michael Grace. I'm Bruce Apar of Chase Media Group, and we always kick off the shows letting you know what's happening in and around Yorktown. And by the way, you can always find out a lot more than what you're going to be hearing here by going to the town website, yorktownny.org. And really what we're doing is simply looking at the same community calendar that you'll see when you do go to the website. I know we mentioned on the last show that at the end of this month, Supervisor, on March 31, the registration begins for the Parks and Recreation summer program. And I know a lot of people, including my kids over the years, love that all the different programs that the Parks and Rec department offers. So you can start registering on March 31 for that program. And you'll see, again, we don't want to go into detail on everything, but there's a lot of fundraisers coming up for various civic organizations and social clubs. So you should really check that out and support whatever you can support. Of course, Easter's around the corner. So on Friday, April 4th, there's a deadline for the decorated egg contest. And I know I love eggs every morning, but mine are pretty much plain white. So I don't really color them or anything. I just have to get them to eat them because I'm too hungry. But very important, and on the last show we had Trissy Kushner and a Yorktown high school student, Victoria Cicinelli, talking about the April 5th Save a Life Symposium, which, as we said, is one of the, if not the most important event of the year. For any community, talking about children at risk.
Right, and there was a $12 admission fee. That's now being...
Right, I mean, that was great news. When Trissy was on the show, she was talking about the fact, they have to cover their costs. I mean, Alliance to Save Kids is a not-for-profit, and they try and get grants as best they can, but they just were trying to cover their costs by charging a $12 entry fee, and she said on the show they were hoping to get some funding to drop the fee, and sure enough, she sent an email out yesterday that they got underwriting. Various clubs in Yorktown. I know both the Shrub Oak Athletic Club and Yorktown Athletic Club.
I think so, yeah.
And so, applause for all those people who came to the table literally with money to help Alliance to Save Kids. So there is no entry fee for anybody going to the Save a Life event on Saturday, April 5th.
Yeah, and I was very proud of the town board. They also waived the rental charge.
Oh, great, for the community center.
So hopefully they can actually make some money this time.
Right. So... The one thing that we should remind everybody is you do have to register before. You can't just drop in. You really need to register so they know you're coming. But again, that's an extremely important day in Yorktown. And then on April 6th, Sunday, is the Yorktown Lions and American Legion breakfast with the Easter Bunny. So hop to that. And there's a number of other things. We're going to be talking for a good portion of this show about something very important happening in our business community on May 9th. But anyhow, let's get to our guest, Supervisor Joe Visconti, who everybody knows as the president of the resurgent and surging Yorktown Chamber of Commerce.
Good to see you, Joe, as always.
And our good friend, we always love to see, Jim Coleman.
Great to be here, Bruce. Thank you all for having me.
And
Mr.
I guess,
Supervisor,
I guess
thank
we
you.
publicly... What?
Oh, it's always great to see Jim.
I know, yeah.
It's always,
we publicly can say
friends.
congratulations on being now the executive director, right, of the Westchester County Industrial Development Agency, and you'll be able to tell us what that's all about and why it's good. Why it's good you're here for the businesses and the residents of Yorktown, right?
Absolutely.
But Joe, maybe we should just start off by updating us on what's happening with the chamber. I know you have a very big annual event on May 30th, right?
That's correct. We have the 16th annual dinner dance at Trump National.
what year is it? 16?
16th.
Wow. Yes.
At Trump National.
Right, in Briarcliff.
And that's, we've had it there the last 2 years, and they do a fantastic job for us. We're tickled pink because we have Larry Edelman and Chain of Fools is going to be the music.
Entertainment, yeah.
And on top of that, we're going to have our own town justice, Sal Lagonia, on the trumpet, and Daisy Jopling on the electric violin. They're all going to be jamming there.
I was going to say, with Sal playing, you're really blowing it out, so to speak. Right?
Yeah, so it's going to be a very exciting night. There's 1,000 invitations going out next week.
Wow.
And we've already started collecting some sponsorships for the Journal.
Wow.
So I'm really hoping for a really big event because when they see this budget, they're going to kill me. It's going to be expensive, but it's a good time. We tried to keep the price. We did keep the price where it was last year, so everybody can come and have a good time. It's very reasonable.
So what is it, 100?
It's $125 a person, and they do a great job.
I know. Oh, yeah.
The venue and the place is fantastic.
Yeah.
The cocktail hour is out on the patio with the golf course, and it's really going to be nice. But what we're really excited about at the Chamber is the May 9th event that we're having right here at Town Hall. Jim Coleman is going to come up and bring his entourage with him and all his people.
Right.
And we're going to try to get all the small business owners in town here to see what programs are available from the county. We've had some meetings with Jim both at the Chamber and down at the county. And, I'm amazed because there's programs that I didn't know about.
Right.
And there's something there for everybody.
Right.
So I'm going to let Jim talk about that because I really want to, have Jim, display his programs and his incentives for small business because we're really excited about it. And if they come to this meeting, they can really get some good out of it.
And by the way, just before a bit of housekeeping, Jim and Joe, on that. I know it says on the flyer, and I want to make sure everybody watching knows this and then passes it along to other people who may or may not be watching. But people have to register for this, so they have to, right?
They need to call the Chamber and make a reservation because if you remember the last time Michael did this, it was like standing room only.
Right.
And, we don't want to have people out in the hall and, things like that. And we'd also like to know, since the Chamber will be doing a small breakfast, we'd like to know how many people are coming and what we need to order. And so it's important to RSVP the Chamber office.
Right. So you can go to yorktownchamber.org. The email is info@yorktownchamber.org. And quickly, the phone number is 245-4599. I just want to make sure everybody knows how they can reserve a place. All right, Jim. And by the way, it's going to have a really, really good MC. Joe Visconti is going to be the MC, as it should be.
Well, this is going to be a big day. And Mr. Supervisor, thank you all for hosting this. Joe, thank you so much for coming down to the county. I know that a couple of weeks ago you came down with all of the different representatives on the Chamber to talk to the county executive and the deputy county executive, our team on the economic development side. Everybody was there. We had a great meeting.
We sure
and that
did.
just is great leadership.
It's important to note that we came down with Republicans and Democrats.
Absolutely.
Let's get that out of the way right now.
When it comes down to business, it doesn't make a difference.
Exactly.
All that counts is us putting our residents back to work.
Right.
And as you know, the County Executive Rob Astorino, that's one of his major priorities out of his 3 Ps. One is making sure that we preserve essential services for all of our residents, protect the interest of all of our taxpayers, and then the 3rd P was promoting economic development.
Right.
And economic development helps us to create jobs, and when we create more jobs and help our businesses to grow, that helps all of our towns to be able to have the tax revenue that they need to be able to pay for all of the wonderful services from street cleaning to moving the snow to helping out on our schools versus raising taxes on our residents.
Right.
And so we're very committed from the county executive to being able to get out to all of our municipalities. Joe, you're doing something very unique and different. This is the first time I've come to a town where you've had such a big celebration sponsored by the Chamber, where you're bringing all of your businesses in to talk about all of the various services that are available from the county. And I'll get into those details tonight. It's a ton of different programs that I think just a lot of our residents and business owners just don't know about.
That's right.
So you're talking, Jim, about the May 9th event.
May 9th.
Yeah, right.
May 9th.
So you're saying other towns don't necessarily do it that way.
Have a big day like this. You're
Right,
having a
right.
big celebration. It's sponsored by the Chamber.
Right.
I've been to the different chambers where they've had their own meetings, but going to the town hall and inviting everybody to come out, whether if you're thinking about starting a business or if you're in your own business or if you're a resident that just wants to be informed, I just think it's a great idea working with the town together, the Chamber and the town.
I think it's worth mentioning that this is not just about that meeting on May 9th. The nice thing about this is that people can come and hear the different programs and hear people speak. Right. But what they can also do, what's available to them, is to take a business card from one of the county representatives that they're interested in and give follow-up. Right. So possibly they can get a one-on-one meeting later on. We're not going to accomplish everything at this meeting that day. We're going to introduce it to them. And then it's up to the small business owner to get in touch with Jim or whoever they happen to be interested in from the county or from the town, for that matter.
That's right.
And have a follow-up meeting on their interests and there's also, what's nice about it also is that there's help from Jim's department to move through the process for whatever program you're interested in.
That's right.
Forms and things like that need to be filled out. I mean, Jim's has never said no.
Right.
Whatever department any resident of Yorktown wants to meet with, any business owner, if you want to meet with the Department of Public Works or the Department of IT or anybody that's within our county police, or if you want to do business with the Emergency Services Department, I'm your advocate of being able to link you up to that commissioner and introducing you to that commissioner and showing you how to compete for RFPs and contracts.
The Chamber of Commerce has a member, I'm sorry, but I can't remember the name, but we have a painting contractor that was interested in a program that went through Jim's department and got a federal contract.
Well, she came down to meet with Commissioner Pisco and had a great meeting. You just can't beat coming down and having that meeting to where the commissioner knows and understands what your business is all about. Right. Oftentimes, you'll get there just on time to be able to get some direction on upcoming bids. The county executive and the legislature, they put together pretty much an agreement over this next 12 months of $250 million that's going to be invested here in Westchester County on infrastructure projects. So we've got to make sure that all of our local businesses, whether if you're someone out there that's a plumber, a contractor, electrician, we're going to have a need for everybody out there to participate in these local projects that we're going to have going on by the county. But what the county also does is that we help to facilitate opportunities with the Tappan Zee Bridge, as well as with federal contracts. We've got one of the biggest infrastructure projects going on right now in our country. It's no more than like 15 or 20 miles from here, down there at the Tappan Zee Bridge. So we want to make sure that everybody understands the Tappan Zee. We want to make sure that everyone understands how to get contracts with the federal government. But on top of that, we also want to make sure that anyone here that wants to meet any of the bigger companies that are in Westchester County, we want to facilitate that. I've helped entrepreneurs to go into Crasdale Foods, Entergy, other companies to being able to sell their products and services. So the biggest thing that we can do at the county is to facilitate relationships, introducing different businesses to all of the key people in our county, as well as how to go about getting more business.
That's one of the things the Chamber is interested in also. We want to try to take our members, our business from Yorktown to Westchester County.
That's right.
It's a big county. There's a lot of opportunity there. And, we try to tell our members all the time, Ossining, Portchester, New Rochelle, all have networking meetings.
Right.
We want our members to go to those networking meetings.
That's right.
Because we want the people from Yorktown to gel with these other communities.
That's right.
Sure.
Because it's all about good business.
Well, here's the thing, Joe, is that if you get one of your entrepreneurs up here to win a contract with Westchester County, this has happened. Once they win that contract, even if it's a $2,000 contract or $500,000 contract, either way, if they do a good job, then they've got a good reference point. If you can do business with Rob Astorino and Kevin Plunkett, these are two tough men that really watch the dollar for the taxpayers. If you can perform under the county's contract and our expectations, that means you are a top producer or top performer as a vendor. We've had different entrepreneurs that have won a contract with us, and then all of a sudden they'll get on to Empire State Bid Systems, which is the New York bid systems, to where all of a sudden you can have access to 138 other agencies and municipalities all over New York. And they'll be calling you. Because why? We're going to make sure that those who win contracts, that we put them in the newspaper, that every time I go out, I'm going to talk about them. They're going to see their faces on TV. The county executive wants everybody to be successful here. So we're going to highlight that success. And we have found that helps our local businesses to get others to start calling them, saying, hey, you did this for Rob. Can you help us? Can you do this? Can you do that?
Right.
What does that do? It drives sales. It puts our residents back to work. And that's what we're all in it for.
That's right.
Well, that's a great point. I just thought of a great slogan. I don't know why anybody didn't think of this before. Westchester, if you can make it here, you'll make it anywhere.
If you can make it in Yorktown.
Right, okay. On the local,
that's what we're going to do.
Yorktown is hopefully not such a tough place to make it anymore.
We have some talent.
It's challenging out there for businesses.
No, it is,
and what our goal is to help them, Mr. Supervisor. To come in, you all have invited us. We're coming up, and we're going to make sure that everyone's informed. I'm going to go through these programs tonight. We've got a program called Hire Westchester. The county executive introduced this program about 4 weeks ago. So far, we've got about 50 companies that have taken this program on. Anybody watching this tonight, this is liquid gold.
So this is about job creation.
That's what it's about. We've got residents right now that are registered in our one-stop database. That's a system. If you want to find that website, go to westchesterputnamonestop.com tonight. If you're looking for a job out there, go to that website. we've got residents who are right now unemployed who post their resumes and their profiles in that database. And then on the flip side, we've got employers who post jobs on that website. Why do they do that? Because the employer, it won't cost the employer one dime to post that job. The residents will have a chance to be able to compete for that job, getting an interview, sending the resume to that employer. Well, what the county executive came up with is a way to be able to incent our businesses, to get them to move forward in hiring all of our different residents. Hire Westchester is about, we will pay up to 6 months, half of the salary, up to 6 months, for anybody that's out there that's going to hire a small business or a large company that's going to put a resident that's currently unemployed back to work. If that employer pays anywhere from $10 to $25, we will pay up to 50% of the salary for the next 6 months, first 6 months of employment. You cannot beat that.
Up to
a total of $20,000.
Wow.
If this program is successful, and we already have gotten a lot of traction, I'd love for a lot of entrepreneurs who are watching this show tonight to call Bob Foyce. Bob Foyce, call him tomorrow morning at 914-995-4976. He will explain the details. All you have to do is first get an account if you don't have an account on onestop.com. 2, post the job. 3, tell Bob what you're going to do. The training can be on-the-job training, or it can be some kind of formal training. If it's formal training, we'll pay up to 50%. Or if it's on-the-job training and you're paying between 10 and 25, we will pay up to 6 months, 50% of that salary. You cannot beat that. And that's part-time, full-time, or seasonal.
That's right. You can't beat that because small business always has a problem with a new hire.
It's risky.
They lose the most money the first 6 months because they're training.
Right.
The person is not efficient in their job.
Then if you're training well, they might quit.
Right. Here, when you're training them, you're getting paid for that slow time while they learn the job, so to speak.
That's right.
And the other nice thing that we like about this program is that it's a check back. There's no tax. It's not a tax incentive.
You got to hire your accountant, Mr. Supervisor. You don't have to go to county, to the county or federal government.
This is cash back.
Right. This is reimbursement with a check. Cash.
That's right. And that's huge.
Work it out with Bob. If you want to get paid back at the end of each month, we'll do that. It's flexible, but it's going to be a check, a cash. And it's not income. We're just simply offsetting and helping to subsidize the cost that the business owner is already putting out. The other thing I like about this is that it allows any business out there, large or small, especially for our small businesses, it allows them to pay a little bit more, without having to
because they get
eat up that
50%
cost.
back.
Right. So if you find somebody and you can pay a little bit more, what are you going to get? You're going to get a better employee. That's the bottom line.
That's right.
And then you're competing with other employers out there. So we had a hotel that's a little bit further south of here where they were going to pay $12. They were able to go to $25 because we're putting up 50%. It allows them to do a test drive with that employee. If that employee earns their keep over the first 3 to 6 months, that employer is going to say, you know what, keep the 25, I need you. And it gives our residents a chance to prove themselves. If you can't get in there and do a good job after 3 to 6 months and convince that employer that, yes, keep me on after the subsidy stops, then that's on you.
Yeah, right.
You can't do more than that, Bruce, right?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
This works whether if you're a municipality, Mr. Supervisor, if you wanted to hire someone, you could do it. A business, a not-for-profit, a hospital, a church, any employer out there watching.
Any class of trade. Or,
any job creator that's watching tonight, call Bob Foyce tomorrow morning. We're going to talk in detail about this. I'm going to invite Bob, F-O-Y-S. I'm going to have Bob to come up on May the 9th. I want to sign him up that day. I want business owners that are going to come here to be prepared. We'll sign them up that day.
Well, the nice thing about it, too, is like you just mentioned, if you have a new hire and you're starting them at $11 an hour, it's an $11 an hour job. Right. We find that the most important thing is the job has to mean something to the employee.
That's right.
So instead of paying $11 an hour, if you could take some of this give back money and make it $16, $17 an hour, now the job means something.
That's exactly
It's a high-paying job.
And your
you get
expectations go up.
You get better response from the employee.
That's right.
She's happy to come, or he is happy to come to work.
That's right.
They're making a decent wage, which you could be proud of.
That's right.
I think this is a win-win. But the bottom line is, Jim, what I find is that most people, and this is why we're doing this, don't know about that program.
And
they don't know about
it. We need
to get it out.
Here's the thing that you all will love about this. This is not taxpayer dollars. This is not our residents who are watching this show tonight who are concerned about taxes. The supervisor's done a good job keeping costs down here for the town. This is not increasing anybody's tax dollars. Why? It's because on the Industrial Development Agency side, as we do these large transactions with the big companies out there that come to us for tax-exempt bond financing, I'll talk about it more, as well as some of the tax incentives, we charge them a small fee. We're not into it to try to generate money. We're into it, though, to be able to pay for the cost of our team, as well as to have a few dollars set aside to where we can do these kinds of things. Because we charge those small fees on the big transactions, it has allowed us to build up a fund over time where we can do these types of things.
I was just going to say,
It's no burden at all to the taxpayer.
And I was going to ask that.
Isn't that beautiful?
I was going to say,
is that beautiful?
if there were a journalist sitting at this table, I'm not saying there is, the question, no, the question would be on behalf of people watching. You know that they're saying right now, whoa, where's this money coming from?
That?
Right.
How'd you come up with that, Coleman? Well, the bottom line is that the county executive was able to get this done through the Industrial Development Agency, and guess what? If it works, we got more money. And we're going to keep
this program going. I mean, would you call it a slush fund sort of, Jim, or it's like a reserve fund?
It's an accrual fund that gets. When I go out,
it comes from permit fees, things like that.
Well, we're going to talk about that. Like you've got Front Street, the Front Street project that we're going to talk a lot about that day.
Right.
Any new entrepreneur that comes to town, and let's say if they take on 20,000 square feet of space,
right,
we could provide them through our straight lease program. That's where we can offer them the sales tax exemption program.
You've done that already.
That's right. And that's an incentive to get companies to move here or to expand.
Right.
Now, let's say if they put, $500,000 into it, we will be able to exempt them from having to pay a sales tax when they go down here to the Home Depot or wherever they go to buy goods, the lights, the carpet, machinery, equipment, computers, everything that you need to build out their office. Right. They won't have to pay that sales tax exemption. Now, whatever that total amount ends up being on that benefit, the IDA charges 5% of the total benefit that company would be able to be entitled to. That's not asking a lot. I mean, nobody's going to turn that down. You can save me money and just pay us 5% of what you save me. You don't lose.
Oh, what you're saving, okay.
So what we do is we'll take that 5%, and it has built up to millions, you all, over time.
Right.
And I'm glad to be here when the money's really big, because I like getting the money out to the entrepreneurs who are the job creators to help them to generate more. So the more I'm able to get out and help entrepreneurs to take these big projects on, that generates more fees in our IDA account to where we can help.
So you're saying what they're not paying in sales tax.
That's
you're
right.
You're taking 5% of that.
That's right. So if it's $100,000, I would get the IDA would get $5,000 towards the account.
And that's saving $95,000
that they wouldn't have gotten if they didn't know about it.
Right.
Okay. Right. They wouldn't have known about it.
Right.
So if we save them money, and it's the taxpayer saving them the money, because they're saying, okay, we want you to come to town. We see the value in the jobs you're going to create and the extra tax revenue that you're going to generate. But the IDA is charging a small fee of 5% to be able to do that. Now, we've got the mortgage recording tax. So if anyone goes out here today and they buy a building and the building costs $1 million, they're going to have to pay a 1.3% mortgage recording tax here in New York. That 1.3%, we've got a program that will have them exempted from having to pay that. That's a ton of savings for companies out there.
That's right.
They're looking at this program tonight. We also charge 5% on the savings of that exemption for the 1.3. We also provide tax-exempt bonds through the IDA. We charge 1% on that total amount. So someone that's getting $10 million, we charge a 1% on that $10 million. Over time, that's built up to being able to help us to create all these programs that we're going to talk about, Mr. President, on May the 9th. Everything from training and development. We've got SCORE, WETC. We help you with business plans. We help you with how to train and manage your team, how to manage IT, how to get your risk down from picking the right kind of insurance. Just about everything that you can think of in helping them with business resources, it's all paid for out of the IDA. No burden at all to the taxpayer. And it's a win-win. It creates jobs.
But another question, too, again, just as a surrogate for people who are watching and maybe thinking about the same things, is that, don't you have projected revenue from sales tax? And then if that sales tax all of a sudden
that's a good question.
Isn't there, what about all the programs that it normally would fund? What happens?
Well, we ask the companies that we do business with to be conservative, to say, okay, what is your estimate on what you think the build-out is going to be? Along with that, they must commit to a certain number of jobs.
Right.
We're not out here just trying to help somebody to lower their cost. We are providing these incentives to encourage the company to either bring jobs here or for existing companies to expand, thereby creating more jobs. Two areas of jobs. Construction, because we create construction jobs every time there's a build-out or a new building being built. The second, though, is permanent jobs, and we want them to create more permanent jobs. They must be committed to that, and usually it's somewhere between 5 and up to 10 years that we'll negotiate in the project plan to being able to say that you will commit to keeping XYZ number of jobs if we give you these incentives.
Right.
And they do, and that's where the jobs are created. And that helps our town, it helps the county, it helps everybody.
It helps the
Right.
community and sales taxes, and it comes back
Money circulating
100-fold.
back
You all
out
know
there.
that.
Yeah.
The best social
So
program.
you're
the
saying
best
that
social
money will be
program-
replaced?
Absolutely,
Well,
tenfold over.
Just getting them.
The supervisor knows if we've got more people working, Mr. Supervisor, more businesses paying tax revenue, then that helps to release the burden on the town and all of our individual taxpayers.
well, yeah.
Isn't that right?
Getting the money
Well,
circulating in the economy.
let's look at Front Street.
Right.
And the proposed Depot Square, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, if that happens, when that happens,
Right.
that's an enormous influx of money into the
exactly
economy because everybody that goes to Front Street has got to buy lunch somewhere.
Right.
They drop their dry cleaning
That's
off.
right.
They use the florist. There's a whole world of
That's right.
of things that are being used because these people, these businesses
exactly
are
right.
here. So a little bit of sales tax lost in the beginning is a multiple
It's an investment.
of taxes coming in over how many years?
Right.
We just closed a deal. Now, you all would be impressed with this. Now, tell me what government out there can do a $98 million deal with a major university and get it done in 30 days.
That's
Rob
good.
Astorino's team. That's what we did on the local development corporation side with Pace University. You probably saw it in the paper.
Right.
They came
I
to
did
us.
see it in the paper.
We've saved them a ton of money versus them going to Dasney, Dormitory Authority
saw
of
it,
New
yeah.
York. We're not trying to compete, but we're just here, your local banker. We're the local country banker. And we saved them probably about $8 million over the 30-year term, as well as we move fast in 30 days. Why is that important? Because they don't have to pay as many legal fees. Every time a month, you all know, the supervisors are a lawyer. You all in the real estate business. Every month that goes on, you got to pay your lawyers more, your accountants. They're going to find reasons for you to pay them. So the quicker we can get a deal and get them the capital they need, the faster they're going to build 2 new dorms, renovate their science center.
Well, that's very important,
It's
not
gonna
only
be
on the
big.
large side that you're talking about, but also on the small side.
Right.
You know, the small business person is running their family business most of the time, and it's either a husband or a husband and a wife, and they're busy running their business.
Right.
A lot of times after 30 days or 60 days with programs like this, they get tired.
That's why
They
don't-
fall back,
Right.
and the next thing you know, that's why it's very important for you guys to move fast
That's right.
with these
So
people
they'll
and
believe
get
in
it
us.
done, and let's
I
move
had
on.
a lady, I was over in Austin the other night, about 2 nights ago, when I was talking about the higher Westchester, she just said, I just don't believe you. She said, is this true? She said, this doesn't even
Just sounds
sound
too
true.
good
It
to be
just-
true, right?
She said, is this really true? Is it? I said, why don't we call Bob Push right now? We can call Bob Push right now. She said, you sound like Santa.
Well, you know, over
You know
the
what?
years,
I love this job so much that I mean, the county executive's got the best job, but I think I've got the second best. Maybe on some days he probably feels that, Jim, you got the best job. Why? Because I do get to go out and give these incentives to businesses to help them to grow. It is a pleasure.
And then you
it's
just
an honor
recently,
to work
Jim,
for Rob to
you
do this.
You made a big deal, so to speak, with White Plains Hospital.
White
right?
Plains Hospital, 175. We just launched
175 million.
175 million.
$1 million.
The county executive last April, I just came on into this job last April. He launched the Local Development Corporation. We're doing the same thing on the not-for-profit side, and we want the not-for-profit companies that are out there that are watching the show, come here on May the 9th. This is just not for-profit. We've got programs for not-for-profits, too.
Right.
What we did, he launched the Local Development Corporation to help our not-for-profits. We've already put out $450 million since last April, into the market. It's created over 2,000 jobs. Again, we're generating fees off of that.
Right.
And it allows us to build a fund up to further help our not-for-profits. We're going to do the same thing with helping them too. But it allows us to get the capital in the market, create jobs, construction jobs, and it helps our not-for-profits, which they create about 55,000 jobs here in Westchester County. They're a major employer. It allows them to be stable. We oftentimes will refinance their existing debt and lower their cost. And when we do that, that helps them to hold on to the jobs, create more jobs, and expand. White Plains Hospital, they're going to hire 500 nursing professionals once this deal's done. They're looking to grow that fast.
Right. But you also know that when it comes to the issue of companies as a give back, so to speak, guaranteeing jobs, there's that whole controversy that always comes up with IBM, right? Where they were tax exempted in return for guaranteeing jobs, and every so often it comes up in some context where people who remember it historically will say, well, and they never created the jobs. So I think the challenge there
We
is...
are a wonderful company.
We're,
well,
I know,
it's tough on
but that's
Yeah,
a sensitive topic around here.
I mean, we do. On a local level, we do the pilot program.
Absolutely. We appreciate that, Mr. Supervisor.
Payment in lieu of taxes.
You are forward-thinking.
Right.
You are truly, I'm not kidding you on this, and I'm not saying it because you're a friend of mine,
Right.
but you are forward-thinking, and you and your town board are economic development focused.
No,
and you're competitive, and you know you've got to compete for business, and you are competitive.
No, we've
we
done.
appreciate you.
Yeah, no, well, we've done just in Yorktown alone. I mean, we're looking at major investment.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
The one thing that we are pushing at our level, which the town has actual control over, is getting rid of the highway garage and
Right. On Front
which
Street.
is on Front Street, which we hope is going to be a big contagion. For a lot of good
Partners somehow with you on that.
New development within the town.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that's going to come. You're going to hear it. So I just
absolutely.
You're going to hear that. So people are going to want an answer to that. But
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have to be competitive in New York. New York, as a state,
You think, right? You think?
as a state, we are not as competitive as some of these other states. Texas,
We're not,
and, they don't have corporate.
Oh, yeah,
taxes.
Connecticut, right,
They don't
like
have
you said,
personal income tax. New York is a wonderful state. It is the Empire State. The access that we have to New York, the access you have to capital, the population. But when you look at Westchester, do you know we've got 145 trains that go into New York City every single day, express?
From Westchester.
From Westchester.
Right.
We've got hospitals where for the trauma center that we have over at Westchester County is second to none.
Yeah.
Anything that you need a transplant on, you can get that over at Westchester County. The hospitals that we have, the schools that we have, both in high academic, higher education, as well as our high schools here are second to none in the United States. Our citizens here are very passionate about education.
Right.
So we tell this to companies. It's not just trying to offer incentives. We tell them the Westchester story, which is a great story.
Right.
It is a great story.
I think it is one of the premier places to live in the country.
Absolutely. It is.
Yeah. Just got to get the rest of the state straightened out.
We're
Hopefully you're working on that, right?
I don't want to get into that, but you all know where I stand. You all know where I stand on that.
And we also want to talk about, just for a couple of minutes, the street fair that Joe, as president of the Yorktown Chamber, has really championed as one of his signature, I think, accomplishments over the years. What is it, Joe? Six?
This is the sixth.
The sixth year. I mean, boy, time really flies.
This is the sixth.
Yeah. I think for the first time, if I'm not mistaken, you had a promo video created, highlights,
right.
which I saw. It's terrific. I mean, it moves along very fast, but it gives you a very good sense of the variety of attractions and how many people are at the street fair and what a destination event it's become for Yorktown, and sort of mirroring the discussion we're having about how businesses should reach beyond their local municipality. The street fair, right, attracts people from all over the region. It's not just a Yorktown event.
The whole tri-state area, believe it or not.
And what was the estimated attendance last time?
We clocked it at about 17,000.
Yeah.
Wow,
Well, yeah,
that's something.
That to be one of the biggest events in Westchester County.
Yeah, and I'd like to have Jim's IDA there this year with a booth, so that small business can come and talk to him.
Yeah.
And and put it out that way also,
Right.
because it really is all about the business community, and it flows over to the residents. Everybody has a great time. The video was produced by Andrea Wagner.
Right.
She does a great job.
Who heads marketing for the chamber?
Who heads marketing for the chamber, and I think they're going to show a clip or something.
We're going to
show
it
during the show sometime.
Right.
But it's a great event. It really took on a life of its own. It's great for the community. People come into Yorktown and see what our town's all about, and it generates a tremendous amount of money every year for the residents and the merchants and everybody, basically. So we're really excited about it, and again, this will be our sixth year.
Okay, and actually right now, we are going to take a break and let everybody see. This is the, however you want to call it, Joe, the highlights video from the 2013 Yorktown Street Fair, sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce and the town of Yorktown. So just take a look at this right now.
Felt a little finger upon my back. He said, "Don't look back, just keep on walking." Then a big black horse said, "Look this way." I looked this way when I was here. I said, "No, no, 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 no." I said, "No, you're not the one for me. No, 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 no." I said, "No."
everybody, and thank you for coming to the 5th Annual Yorktown Festival and Street Fair. I want to thank the Yorktown Supervisor, Michael Grace, and the entire town board for partnering with the Chamber of Commerce in this event and making it spectacular for Yorktown. Big hand.
Hey, we're here today with Augie's Prime Cut. This is Sal, the owner, and we just wanted to say hi. How's it going?
It's going great. What a great day for a fair. And this is like one of the best fairs of all these towns around here. Watch for us all over the place. Enjoy these great days and this great fair that you guys put on here in Yorktown.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'm here with Patty from Field Home. Patty, how's it going today?
It's great. It's a beautiful day. There's loads of people from the community coming around, and we're just enjoying it.
Chase, from the CEO of Chase Media, and I just want to ask her a couple of questions. How are you enjoying the festival and what's going on?
It's a great festival. Joe is Visconti, as normal, has done a fantastic job, and we certainly appreciate all our readers and all our customers who have been with us for almost 58 years.
That's a long time. That's great business. Tell us a little bit about the Newtown Link.
The Newtown Link lists the businesses that is opportunity for over 10,000 searches for putting your business online. We have your website, your phone number, and it's able to search by town.
I'm here with Barry Liebman, executive producer of Yorktown Stage. Barry, how is it going today?
Unbelievable. Great turnout here at the fair. You know, the Chamber of Commerce should be proud. The town should be proud. I mean, we've got people from everywhere, tri-state area, selling, buying. It's a lot of fun. And you see a lot of people meeting up with other people that they haven't seen. It's a perfect thing for Yorktown. Just really perfect.
I'm here today with Mark right now with Jilko. Tell us a little bit about how you're enjoying the day.
We love it today, and the crowd that's out here is absolutely fantastic. You know, we've been a part of this show for the last 4 years, and it's just been a wonderful experience for us, and certainly all the people out here. So really enjoy it. Jilko's been in the area for over 30 years now, and we specialize in windows and doors and kitchen cabinetry. We've got 4 kitchen designers on staff in our showroom that's about 10 minutes away from here.
Great. Well, thank you. We appreciate your sponsorship. We appreciate you being here, and have a great day at the festival.
Hey, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Enjoying the festival so much. This is our first year here, even though we've been living in Yorktown for 3 years. And what we're enjoying so much is being able to look at all the different businesses and sample all the food. It's tremendous. We're seeing all of our friends and neighbors here, so we're having just the best time.
We're from Yorktown, and it's wonderful. There's a lot of food offerings, a lot of shops and stands, and a lot of cool stuff to do.
What do you like best about what's going on here today?
The food.
Yeah. We're going to be dancing, so we're super excited about that. We're from Dance for Joy.
Okay. And you?
There's a lot to do, and it's just a lot of fun.
With hundreds of vendors here today, music all day long by local bands, and food court. We're having a great time at the festival. We hope to see you at the 2014 6th Annual Yorktown Festival and Street Fair.
Okay, so it looked like everybody had a great time, right?
Yeah, they sure did. They're very proud of it.
And also, remember, it was a beautiful day.
The weather's everything.
Right.
You know
It was a gorgeous day.
in 6 years, we had 5 great days. And 1 year,
right.
maybe the 4th year or the 5th year, we had a little drizzle. But you know something?
2012.
The Yorktown residents pulled out the umbrellas, and they didn't care at all. So we just kept right on going.
Right. And you made, I know this year too, Joe, I mean, with any kind of event like this, it's par for the course that you tweak it every year. And I know this year you made a number of changes and refinements that, like you had one bandstand that worked really well.
Well, the year before we had 4, and it drove us crazy. You know,
right, surround sound.
Really. Right. And so, you know, we simplify it a little bit as we go along. Like you said, we tweak it.
Yeah.
We'll tweak it again this year. We haven't really started on it. We don't start on it until May.
Right.
And then we work on it until October. So it's a long planning event. And, you know, and hopefully it turns out the weather's good. You got a successful day.
And you made it even more family friendly, easy for me to say.
Right.
Family friendly, with all of the kiddie rides and.
You know what's nice about it? We found that in 6 years, we have not had one problem with anyone. Right. It's like it's a family day.
Yeah. Right.
Everybody comes out. Everybody gets along. No arguments. No fights. We do have in Larry Edelman an excellent police presence with him and his guys. And then we have John Decker, who's a board member, who was Crown Security. He heads up the security with Larry. And we really are quite pleased that it's been 5 years and we haven't had one instance. The worst instance we had was the popcorn lady fought with me because she didn't like her place in the fair. But she sold out by 3 o'clock. So how bad could it be?
Popcorn lady popping off.
No, she was finished at 3 o'clock.
Can't beat that.
So it's really a very nice event, and we really appreciate the public spirit.
Yeah.
You know, they come out, and everybody's happy, and everybody gets along, and, you know, it's nice. It's nice. There's no Republican, Democrat, none of that.
No.
We leave all that home.
It's all family.
It's all family, is
residents.
Right. All Yorktowns.
Oh, yeah. No, it is. It is a great event. And we also should go back. I just wanted to ask Jim and Joe, on May 9th, it's 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., so it's 4 hours. So there's going to be other people speaking as well? Or are you going to break out into groups?
We're going to bring out a full team. We'll have individual presentations, and maybe what we could do, Joe, is have different rooms if you want to offset it. If anybody wants to get into details, like we're probably going to have a lot of our business owners that are going to be here to want to sign up. So if you need to,
and so they will be able to sign up.
Absolutely, we're going to have them to sign up to as much as possible.
Right.
To make
we feel that the seminar.
Action.
The seminar will probably run from 9 to 12.
Right.
And then there's an hour, because we had to come into the room with the town.
Right.
So maybe there's an hour afterwards where people can sit, talk, questions, things like that. So, but we're going to have a pretty good team. Jim's bringing a whole team up.
Yep.
Michael's going to speak. Other people may want to speak. There's some people in the chamber who are going to want to speak.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's going to be 3 hours and then questions after that. And, of course, anybody can leave anytime they want if they get, you know, but I doubt anybody's going to be bored
It's going to be
this
good.
seminar.
Right.
Any business owner that comes here, like you said, Joe, it's going to be something for everybody.
Right.
If you can't get something out of this day,
But is it going to be televised, or is that not?
Well, the press will be here. We invited the press.
Right.
I don't know what Tommy's going to do, if he's going to film it or what.
Great if you could, because
that'd be good.
those who
Then
can't
they can
make
watch it all
they'll
month.
see it later.
That's what I mean.
Put it on the website.
Right.
I mean, you know, it doesn't have to be a 4-hour program, but you could just have the highlights of
That's
it.
right.
You know, it's
That's right.
Otherwise, it's
Well,
going
we
to turn into
taped the last
Woodstock.
one, right? We did with
the 202.
Last one was the 202 project.
Right. And
look what happened there.
Right.
By July, it's going to be fantastic. They're almost done.
Yeah.
By this July,
Yeah,
it's gonna be fantastic.
The forum on the 202 corridor ended up, bearing fruit, and you know, it is important because I think it's just the communication between the job that you're doing,
partnership
between the government and private enterprise. And the thing is, you know, government can't do it. You know, our economy is driven by the private entrepreneur.
That's right.
And government should be the facilitator rather than the obstruction.
That's exactly right.
And it's moved, and I think especially in New York. I mean, this is what's happening. We've moved to where government has been obstructing the progress and has really tied and become a
barrier.
Right for entrepreneurship. And I think the states that follow that paradigm, or it's places like Michigan, that end up falling down by the wayside. And New York, you're right. New York has got an incredible amount of talent and enthusiasm. It's a great place to live. It's got great natural resources. It's a beautiful state. It's got, it's got so many things going
we
for it.
shouldn't be doing better.
Right.
The county executive created over 30,000 jobs in the private sector over the last 4 years. Why did he do that? He did that through these types of programs, inviting the private sector, convincing them that government wasn't going to get in your way, working with the individual municipalities. Right. He came from the local municipalities, so he understands the needs of our local municipalities. They have rights. He's protecting their zoning rights and their chances to being able to say who comes to, what types of buildings will be built in their various communities. So he understands that. He's your partner.
Yeah,
he's an advocate.
Huge difference in I remember I had a newly elected supervisor from up in Putnam came down and says, ask me advice as to what to do. And I said, it's tough in 2 years to get much accomplished. But I said, the one thing you can do, and you can do it right away, is just change the tone of government.
That's exactly right.
And the thing is and
right
perhaps the most important thing is the most important thing that you can do. If you've changed the tone that we're your friend, we're here to partner with you, we're here to accommodate you. We're not, every community wants and has an interest in the orderly development of its town according to its master plan and its zoning. But that's one thing. But that should not be used as a club.
Right.
It should be used.
I wish I could take you all over. Can you ride with me tomorrow? I've got about 5 stops to go, Mr. Supervisor. What you said. I was over at another municipality in our county, and they were saying, "What can you do to get the developers and the investors out there that want to come to our town? What kind of incentives do you have?" I said, "Well, nothing's. I can't even tell you the incentives that I could offer outside of what you could do as far as letting them know that your approval process is going to be fair and it won't take forever."
Right.
That beats any. I can't come up with a multi-million-dollar incentive that would beat that.
No.
And you come up if they trust that you're going to be easy to do business with, and that you're going to either say yes or no, real short, and not waste their time.
Right.
You're going to have more people that want to invest in your town than you can handle.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
One of the first instances I had up here was a guy that was opening up a small business. Guy was opening up a small business. He said, in one of the first complaints I got when I first got into office, he was telling me how long it was taking him to get through the process here.
Yeah.
And
that builds a reputation to where everybody else hears about it.
Bad word of mouth.
Like,
very bad word of mouth.
So we got back here, put the hammer down on people because this guy opening up, he's going to sell tea and scones, and how much tea and scones you got to sell to make up 3 months rent while you're trying to get your approval? You can't do it.
Right.
And everybody thinks, well, no, you're a business, you're a developer, you're whatever, you got money. No.
Right.
They don't. And
they have a choice of where they can go.
And they don't have an endlessly deep pocket. As a matter of fact, that most people are doing it on the margins. And most people are risking their capital and risking their lifetime time investment. You've got to get things moving.
That's right.
And I think, one thing we had been successful in doing is doing that. The State Land Corp, 25 years before the town. Where we took care of them in a few months. The mall.
Right.
Another 25-year ordeal. We got them done in 3 months.
That's exactly right.
It's moving those things out.
Nothing can match that.
Right. Mount Kisco Medical Group up in Jefferson.
Absolutely.
We have made a commitment towards being getting
it felt like you were their partner.
Right. Getting our ducks in a row, making sure you know what you have to do, and making sure you can get it to the goal line as quickly as you possibly can.
Business and government should always be a partnership.
Yes. And Mr. Supervisor, you can do that with protecting your citizens at the same time.
Absolutely.
You're there to create a win-win.
Absolutely.
You can do both.
Right. There's no question. It's somebody says, "Oh, yeah." There's no compromising on what we require in order to keep our community both aesthetically pleasing, environmentally sound,
safe and sound.
Right. But we know what to get to that end, you know what you have to do. You have to be practical minded. You have to get there. You have to be willing to compromise. You have to be willing to have the conversation and extend yourself.
Right.
And to make sure that you're not leading anybody down towards dead ends. Like I always just say, I don't need my town to go have me fetch the Wicked Witch's broom every time. I send you on a trek somewhere. Uselessly, when the answer was always right there in the ruby slippers.
Right.
Let's get to the ruby slippers quick.
That's right.
And we can do that. And so to me, that's you can set the tone.
It's the biggest thing any town can do.
Right. That's right.
To be competitive.
But the thing that I like, the thing that I want to impress on the people that are watching this and the people that are coming to the meeting is that this is really twofold. While there are incentives, I'm really excited about the opportunity to do business with Westchester County.
You got it. Absolutely.
So people don't necessarily have to come for the incentives.
Right.
If the incentives don't work for them, there are
Get a
ways for
contract.
them to get contracts.
With the county, the
With
state,
county,
or the federal
state.
government.
Everybody wants business.
Right.
This is an opportunity to get in on
It
the
will
ground floor and
transform a
talk to the
business.
people that can make it happen.
Right, and I think, to one of your points, I mean, one of the big things is government is a big vendor out there.
Absolutely.
A huge vendor.
Yeah.
And we've made an effort. There's a competitive bidding process, but a lot of your small local businesses can't get into it.
That's
Don't have the manpower to
Wherewithal.
to take care of the paperwork, to do what needs to be done in order to qualify for the business that government can give them.
Yeah.
And the idea here, and we're doing it even on a local level, we're trying to invite our guys in to say, look, my local vendor, I can't. Look, the lowest bid is the lowest bid, and if it happens to be coming from Buffalo, I'm going to have to go to Buffalo. But the idea is to make my guy here to understand what it is to make you competitive, to become the low responsible bidder that I can use and be in my own town at the same time.
The county executive, over his first 4 years of office, he was able to reduce the cost of government by 5%. A big way he was able to do that is to put everything online, to where the whole world knows.
Right. Yeah, right.
We want more vendors to compete and to submit their responses to our bids.
Right.
Why? With more competition for the taxpayers, it reduces our cost.
Right.
It also, though, gives an opportunity to anybody out there. The days of it all depends on who you know, those days are gone.
No, we do.
The county executive is fully transparent and says, listen, I want everybody to compete.
We did it.
Come on in.
We did it with our garbage contract.
Right. That's right.
We
Yeah.
saved,
Right. Yeah. Saved, what,
now it will be
$800,000?
$1.6 million over 2 years
Right.
on going out with a properly drawn bid spec that allowed for competition. And
Right.
what we got a startup company.
Competition is good.
We got a startup company that said, you know what? They looked at what they had to do. It's a startup company outbid became $800,000 lower than the second low bidder on it, and what we were paying. So we saved over 2 years, $1.6 million.
Right.
We're going to save another $800,000 next year.
Congratulations.
And yes, and that is significant money because everybody's been worried about the tax cap in Yorktown. It's like what you guys did in the county. Our levy the last 2 years went down.
That's amazing.
So, and in tight economic times, our levy is less than it was 3 years ago.
Right.
And that is a significant achievement in this economy.
Right.
Especially when your assessment roll is decreasing as well. So but that is being creative, and it's starting to work. We went out and we talked to the vendors. What is it that you need?
That's smart.
What's a
That's
reasonable bid spec to make this a competitive bid so we can get the best price and the best service for our town? And we were able to do it.
Yep. Well, Mr. Supervisor, our goal on May the 9th is to help your businesses up here in Westchester County to put more of our residents here in Yorktown to work. That's going to help to create more tax revenue for the town, as well as to help them to have more sales, because that will help to create more revenues. When you're able to do that, then you don't have to raise the levy ever.
No,
the goal is, like President Reagan used to say, the best way to raise taxes is to lower taxes.
Right. I always
Isn't that right?
I used to tell it was the old joke about the guy that comes into town and visiting the town. He goes over to the hotel. I've told this one before.
That's all right.
It's all right. I can do it.
I didn't hear it, so tell me.
I'm a captive audience. You can tell it again.
I didn't hear
The visitor comes into town and he's tired. He wants to get himself a room, so he goes to the local hotel. And I asked the guy, how much is the room? The guy says $10. He gives the guy, the innkeeper, $10, and the keeper will be with you in a second. He runs out the back door. He runs across the street. He goes to the tailor. Tailor, here's the $10 I owe you for doing the suit.
Right.
Tailor says, "Oh, thank you." He runs out by back door, goes over to the horsemith, says, "Hey, here's the $10 for shoeing my horse."
Right.
I know where this is going.
And then the horsemith goes over to the grocery store. He says, "Hey, here's the $10 for the oats for my horse."
Right.
And then the shopkeeper goes over to the town attorney, and he goes, "Here's the $10 for doing, taking care of my legal problem." And the attorney gets his $10, and he's running across the street over to the hotel room. In the meantime, the traveler's going upstairs, and the the guy goes up into the room and he looks, first the lawyer gives the innkeeper the $10. Here's the $10 for the room. Thank you, my mistress and I appreciate the room for the night.
Yep.
In the meantime, the traveler gets upstairs and looks in the room and goes, "What the hell happened in here?"
Right.
I'm not staying here. Walks back downstairs. He goes,
I want my
$10 back, and the innkeeper gives him the $10 back. In the meantime, everybody in town got paid.
Exactly. That's what we want.
But it's the idea.
what we're doing.
It's a great
It's
story.
always the idea. I always tell everybody it's the circulation of money in the economy that makes the economy run.
That's right.
And the worst thing you can do for the biggest offender at slowing down that circulation of money in the economy is government.
Exactly. Government taking money out of the economy.
Because
because it can't handle managing just like families do.
If I did
The appetite.
If I did the same story with the government in it, the traveler would give the innkeeper $10.
By the time it got to
government
the
would have taken one.
That's right. That's right.
By the time it got to the lawyer, he'd have 50 cents,
left,
and,
right.
and
That's
he
right.
wouldn't be able to pay the innkeeper.
That's
But
right.
That's what happens. At every transaction, the government tries to siphon things off and,
That's right.
and makes the things expensive. So, and so what
You understand that. A lot of business leaders don't. A lot of government leaders don't always understand that. What's going on in New York City? You can see it.
Right.
He's the best economic development partner we've ever got.
Right.
Now.
Right.
He's raising taxes left and right. I'm telling everybody, if you're in New York City, get out while you can. Get out while you can before it's too late.
All right.
Come on to Westchester.
Right.
It's unbearable.
Yeah.
But you get it. You get it, Mr. Supervisor, on keeping taxes low.
Yeah, it's getting government. Had a function historically as really being the facilitator,
Right.
And has grown so big and so hungry and so money thirsty that now it's nothing but an impediment to everybody. And
That's why we do need change in New York. Government has grown faster than the private sector in employment. Yeah. And it's just the opposite. It should be just the opposite.
Right.
It should be just the opposite. In Westchester County, the private sector has far outrun government
But
services.
once you start getting it going in the other direction, what happens is that everybody's less reliant on government. But it's counterintuitive to most career politicians because and that's the unfortunate part. But
That's exactly right.
Okay, and we do need to wrap it up, but this has been very informative. Thank you.
Could go on another hour, couldn't we?
Yeah. Well, it will be going on another 4 hours on May 9th.
Absolutely.
So again, as the flyer says from the Chamber of Commerce, attention business owners of Yorktown, business revitalization plan, Friday, May 9th, here in Town Hall in this room, and call the Chamber of Commerce to get a seat at the table, as they say. And we want to thank Jim Coleman, Executive Director of the Westchester County Industrial Development
Thank you so
Agency.
much.
Thanks,
you all,
Jim.
for having me here, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Mr. Supervisor, Bruce, thank you all so much.
Well, thanks for being here. I'm sure the supervisor would agree that you're welcome back anytime.
I would love to.
Yeah,
I really would love to.
Yeah, no. And Joe Visconti, who's a regular guest, the president of the Yorktown Chamber of Commerce. And this looks very promising. It really does. And to get the economy in Yorktown going again and beyond.
Well, I just want to say that the Chamber's mission is to promote business in the 5 hamlets within Yorktown, the Yorktown Chamber. And I just want to say that we've been doing some partnerships with the town now for a while since Michael's been here, and we're delighted because we're moving business forward, and that's what the chamber is really all about, promoting business. And regardless of who sits in that seat, if we can work with them and promote business, we're happy. The business community is happy.
That's right.
Everybody comes out in the morning for the same thing, to make a buck.
That's right.
Okay, and if we can keep moving forward, we're happy.
Right. That's great.
That's great.
And thank you for watching Grace Notes with Town of Yorktown Supervisor Michael Grace. I'm Bruce Apar of Chase Media Group. Be sure to watch us next time and every time because Yorktown is your town. Thank you.